Good morning.
Morning, Your Honor.
Morning.
Good morning, Miss Sturkey. I'm waiting to see if Mom logs in. I haven't seen any of our parties yet. And let's see, I don't have Miss Sapien logged in yet. Or Miss Ferguson. So we'll give it just a couple minutes and see if we get anybody else in. Miss Seal, were you expecting your client?
I was judge. Would you like for me to try and follow up and
It's up to you. I was gonna go ahead and call the case and then Miss Starkey, she isn't here yet.
I don't have any reason to think that there would be an issue with going ahead and going forward, Judge.
Okay. Taylor McDonald is in the waiting room. Uh, is Taylor involved in this case?
Doesn't ring a bell, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, we're up next, I believe. I apologize.
Okay, no problem. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and call it and Miss Sturkey, if you can just stay with us for a few minutes. If she shows up, of course, I'll let you know immediately.
Certainly.
All right. We're here today for a review hearing. We're conducting this through Zoom under a finding of good cause and agreement of the parties. We're live streaming, and Ms. Taylor is making our record this morning. All right, we'll take announcements.
Morning, Your Honor. Counsel Gene Graff and Mickey Lane on behalf of the state, present and ready to proceed.
Sage Seal, Your Honor, here on behalf of Jennifer Walters, respondent mother. I'm ready.
Erin Mullinex, attorney ad litem for the child, ready, Your Honor.
Okay, and CASA is also present.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right then. I've read the report. Who's going to give us an update this morning? Ms. Lane?
That's right.
Good morning.
Go
All
ahead.
right. Yeah, you go ahead. You can go right ahead. What's new since you filed your report?
So, Rose has been placed with Deanna Hunt since I believe October of last year. She is doing well in the home. She still has some behaviors with missing some school, and she likes to, go from CASA to her ad litem to CPS to try to get her way sometimes, like some teenagers do. I've spoken to the placement, I've spoken to all the parties, and we believe we want to try to do a mediation to do PMC to the kinship placement she's currently in, and to keep Jennifer Walters, Misty Parr, and Greg Parr as PMC as well.
Okay. Um, I have absolutely no problem with that at all. We could give you kind of a date by which you need to do that. And our next review hearing isn't until October, so we've got plenty of time to do it. So, Ms. Seal, anything to report?
Nothing to report, Your Honor, but other than we would be in agreement with that request.
Okay. All right. Ms. Sapien's logging in. Let me bring her in real quickly. Okay, Ms. Sapien, we've called Walter's case, and do you have anything to add today as her guardian ad litem?
I do not, Your Honor.
Okay, the department is talking about setting a mediation to determine whether or not PMC could go to placement. So we're probably going to be doing that sometime in the next several months.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, then Ms. Molnex.
Your Honor, she's doing well in her placement. I think she kind of flip-flops back and forth all the time. There was a meeting back on April 29th about some concerns that there were. I think the report said that family therapy had been halted. That's the same thing that happened back at that appointment or about that meeting. I don't know if we even need to do a mediation to get that agreed for the placement to be PMC. It may just be that we can circulate an email and an order and get it done. Because I think sounds like everybody's in agreement to me.
Okay, I'm good with that. Mr. Groff, if you all want to start by just sending an email around to everybody and
Happy to do that, Judge.
Yeah.
And I agree. We don't necessarily need to mediate if everybody's in agreement. That would be a kind of a waste of resources, but understand my client's request.
okay. All right, and Casa?
Rose is doing good. And I agree on she does kind of flip-flop back and forth. We did have that meeting and it did seem that everyone was in agreement on being granted PMC. She has the mission trip coming up to Vietnam next month, and her birthday's next month. She does have some of the same troubles with skipping class and not doing assignments, but it is getting better. So that's what we have.
Okay. All right, I'm glad that maybe we're doing better with the school situation. I know you all were concerned about that, so am I. But hopefully that trend will continue.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Then we'll just continue the department as permanent managing conservator at this time and continue her current placement. And then if y'all want to just see if you can informally reach an agreement and then just present an agreed order, that would be great. So,
Great. Thank you, Your Honor.
okay. Thank you all so much. I appreciate it. Ms. Sturkey, thank you very much for showing up for us today. I
Certainly.
appreciate your continued help with this.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge.
Still in the waiting room, Your Honor. She's
I've let her in.
Okay, I apologize.
Yeah. No. It's okay. A lot of people on the screen. Okay, then I will call cause number children. And we're here today on review hearing for the 3 younger children and an extended foster care review on the oldest child. We are conducting this through Zoom. We're live streaming and Ms. Taylor is making our record. All right, we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Thank you, Your Honor. Gene Graff and Shay Cairns on behalf of the state. We're just waiting for Ms. Cairns to log in and we are prepared to proceed.
Aaron Mullinex, attorney ad litem for the children, ready. And Your Honor, my understanding is Sierra wanted to take part. I don't know if she's here or in the waiting room at all.
I do not have her in the waiting room. Ms. Cairns is now logged in. So I'll watch the waiting room. All right, so
I apologize.
Oh, no problem. What I'd like to do is go ahead and just take up the review of the young adult Maisie first. So what do we have new with respect to Maisie since the court report was filed?
Nothing's new. She did take a break from school. She wants to go back maybe in the fall. She had a rough time at tech, so she just wants to take a little break. She's still working full time. I did talk to her a couple weeks ago. Since her sisters left the cottage, she's thinking about going to child independence. I'm trying to talk her into maybe going into a SIL so that she can take advantage of like all the everything that we can give to her. So I was trying to talk to her SIL because I told her there weren't be any kids, that it would just be adults because she's tired of the kids running around. So other than that, there's been nothing new. She hasn't really made a decision on what she wants to do just yet, but I told her that I would talk about it. We would talk about it a little bit more next time I saw her, and then from then she can kind of let me know what her plan is.
Is she planning to go back to tech?
She does not want to go back to tech. I think she wants to try out South Plains if she decides to go back.
Okay. Was it just the size or
I think she just struggled with the classes. They were a little bit. It was one class, and I want to say it was. It was one of her math classes. She really, really struggled with it, which I think I told her I struggle with math too. So she passed, but she did have a really hard time.
Okay.
So she wants to go to, I think she wants to try at South Plains and maybe change her degree plan.
Okay.
She's unsure on what she wants to do with school right now. She knows she wants to take a break. That's all she's for sure on.
Yeah, my concern with at that age is her taking too much time away. It gets harder and harder to go back and get back into that routine as a student the longer you're away from it. I'd really like us to encourage her to, let's try a smaller school. Let's try South Plains, give it a try this semester. She might not even want to take a necessarily full load. And if she's working part-time and going to school part-time, she certainly could qualify for a SIL placement. I mean, I don't know what they have in particular. I know Tech has some SIL placements, but I don't know about South Plains, but we could, see what we could find. I'd much rather that than her go into trial independence, obviously.
Yes, we do have some SIL placements at South Plains as well. So I've been
Okay.
trying to, I want to talk her into going back to school. I just told her like a lot of my young adults, they go to tech first and they all struggle. So it's not just her. And I just let her know that it's a big difference from high school straight into college. And I think she wants to change her degree plan. I do think she's going to go back. She wants to take her break.
Right. I think everybody that talks with her encourage this to happen this fall. I'd love to see her get back into college this fall. I think we got a lot better chance of her completing if we can get her started back pretty soon.
Yes, Judge.
And especially if she does try, if she thinks she's going to do trial independence, work becomes and being able to pay your bills becomes the overwhelming concern at that point. So, I really hope we can talk her into the SIL and starting school back. So, okay. Anything else? Everything's healthy. Everything else is okay.
Yes. She did have a cold in December, but other than that, she hasn't been sick at all. And she is up to date on her medical and her dental.
Okay. Great. Okay. Anybody else, Casa or have anything to add on her?
Yes, Judge. I just want to say I met with her on Monday, and I think she really is looking to going back to school in the fall. She's been accepted into South Plains. She's working full time and making a good hourly wage, and so I think she wants to try to keep doing that and go back. But she definitely sounded like she's looking at getting online classes at least to just get some of her basics done. She wanted to go to be a pharmacist, but then chemistry at Tech, she didn't care for chemistry. So she decided that she needed to change, and Tech was way too big coming from, Memphis. And, but she's doing really well. I think she is looking for somewhere else to move. I think she's feeling a little lost that, brothers and sisters have all left and she's still at the ranch and she's ready to start her new chapter. But I highly encouraged her to talk with her pal and see what options there are that she can still get assistance and still get all that she needs, but, have a little more independence and be able to start her next chapter.
I know we've done this with some of our other, I say kids, but they're adults at that point, but, where we've actually taken them to see like, an SIL placement and kind of what that looks like and what our living environment is. And that seems to have been beneficial with some of our other young adults. So is that something we might be able to arrange?
Yes, absolutely. Especially if they're in Lubbock. Most of the SILs here, they let them do the walkthrough. I was trying to talk to her about passages because I think we have one young adult in the house on Broadway. So she'd pretty much be by herself, and I know she wants her independence, so I really think that would be a good place for her to go. It's just if she'll go. I think she's kind of set on being independent. And yeah, kind of to add what she was saying, she's lost without her siblings. So she's kind of like in a transitional space right now, but I do think that she'll end up going to a SIL. I also referred her for HUD housing, which is I want to say it's the same as Section 8. We did have some vouchers. So that's another option. I don't know if they've reached out to her yet, but if so, they'll call her and they'll set up an interview too, and she'll be able to pick her own place. And I think they'll pay for her rent so that she's able to keep all of her money that she's making because she is working full time at Sam's.
Okay. Well, let's try to get her to go, let's go look at a SIL. I just think a lot of them just think it's going to be more of the same, of what they've had as first placement, and we all know that it's not. But I think there's nothing like them seeing it to really understand it. So she would have a lot of the same freedoms and the same independence that she is going to have in trial independence. She just got more support. So okay, Ms. Molinax.
And this may go into the other kids as well, but Aaron and Kaylee are placed together, and my understanding is that the placement is able to allow Macy to have contact with them, and she's actually visited. She was going to see her mom, I think, and that was kind of troublesome for the others, but she is able to visit the kids, and the fosters allow that contact. I'm not sure about Sierra. Heather may know that, but I know that Aaron and Kaylee have contact with her.
Okay, that's good. That's great. Okay. Did she and Sierra talk?
Not that I'm aware of. I know Sierra has wanted to speak with Aaron and Kaylee, but they have not got on the Zoom calls and have not had contact. But Sierra and Maisie talk weekly.
Okay. All right.
And with regard to Sierra and Kaylee, I asked Kaylee yesterday if she had talked to Sierra, and she was just kind of like, no, but it just kind of hadn't happened. It wasn't like nobody was letting that happen. It was just like, well, that just hadn't happened. And Kaylee wasn't too worried about it. So.
Okay. Well, they're adjusting. Let's let them adjust. Okay, we're going to kind of transition then into the other kids. Let's just start. What kind of anything new since the court report on the other kiddos?
No, Judge, nothing new. We're waiting on the new termination for Aaron's father since the last name was different. And then we're waiting on an appeal period to be up so that Kaylee and Aaron can be adopted. They are doing very well in their placement though. And I just talked to Sierra this morning. She's wanting to move, but I can't move her at this time until she works that program.
Which it sounded like maybe she's doing a little better.
A little bit, yes. I know that she doesn't like that placement, but we've got to get her level of care down. And she just has to behave a little more to get her, at least restrictive. And yeah. I'm working on that.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully maybe that'll happen.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And then her dad is still on the fence, still with the income and everything. And I believe Bailey was going to speak with him about relinquishing so that Sierra could find a long-term placement, not necessarily be adopted, but.
Okay.
And I can inform the court, Ms. Sapiens, I did talk about that last week, trying to get a Spanish language relinquishment packet down to him where he is and see if we can find someone who could facilitate the signing and notarization of that. So that's the challenge at the moment, but that's what we discussed last week.
But we think that he is maybe willing to do this.
That's my understanding, yes, according to Ms. Sapien.
Okay. All right. Okay, anything else, Ms. Cairns?
No, we're just waiting on them to be able to be adopted and then hopefully get Sierra in a better placement for her. I believe they're doing really well though. I talk to Sierra weekly. So
Okay. All right. Casa, anything else with respect to the other kiddos?
They're just doing very, very well. I think Aaron and Kaylee have really adjusted well. I spoke with their counselors at school, and they're doing very well in their classes. Kaylee is being a little social butterfly. She's made lots of friends. She's going all the time to youth and with her friends. Aaron's very excited about starting football and doing summer workouts. So I think that they have adjusted very well. Sierra, she has done better, but she is still working on trying to get that level of care up. She's got it up to a point at the placement that she can apply for a job. So I think that would be good for her this summer to keep her busy. I know she does want to leave and go somewhere. My concern is going in a less structured environment. She needs that structure and those rules, and I'd be a little afraid that she might not make the best choices if she was given more freedom. But I know she has expressed that she is not happy there.
Well, I'm willing to try, I'm willing to try it and see if she'll do better and do what she needs to do.
And she's done better. Like, she is definitely, I don't think there's been incidents for a while. And so I keep telling her, I was like, you just got to keep making the good choices and doing what you need to do. And then it can be an option. But that it really kind of depends on her choices and her actions of where we can find a place for her.
Yep, exactly. Ms. Molinax, anything with respect to the other kids?
Your Honor, as Shay said, we're waiting on the appeal. I don't know what's happening with that because I think the department responded on April 14th, and so it's still pending in the Supreme Court. So I don't know. I talked to the foster parents yesterday, and they were very concerned about the time frame, what's going to happen and when can we adopt? And we kind of had the conversation, well, if this gets reversed and sent back, then it may not be an adoption. And are they willing to be a long-term placement? They said they are, depending on their license. I told them I didn't know anything about the licensing portion, so they had to talk to somebody about that. But if they're able to, they're definitely wanting to keep the kids, even if they can't adopt them. I talked to Aaron and Kaylee, both of them. I asked if they needed anything or if they wanted to talk to you. They said they were doing very, very well, didn't have any concerns or anything to talk to you about, didn't even need to be here, and they love it there. Sierra, as you heard, she kind of always wants to move around. And so I don't know what we do about her. But I think overall, everybody else is doing very well, other than Sierra wanting to move.
What, Mr. Groff, I don't know if you can tell me because we don't get notified about all this, but what is the issue that went up to the Supreme Court?
I inherited this case, so I don't know all the ins and outs from the beginning. I do know that I believe the mother's appeal was denied at the appellate court level, and so she has taken the next step to appeal it. I don't know what the basis for the appeal is that she's arguing, but obviously we're sort of at the mercy of that process at the moment.
So it's mom's appeal
that's my understanding, yes.
Right. So it's on all the kids.
Yes.
Well, not Maisie anymore, but okay.
On the termination on the minor children.
Okay. All right. I thought I heard something that it was just had to do with Aaron, and I just was. That's kind of what lost me, but okay. All right. Well, we will wait. Not much else we can do.
And just so the judge knows, as relates to Mr. Gomez, we're just waiting on the return of the certified letter receipt that Ms. Karen sent last month. As soon as we get that back, assuming no response, we will be filing a motion for posting, so we can move forward on his case, and so we can free him up for the adoption as well.
Okay. All right, then. With respect to Maisie, we will just continue the extended jurisdiction, and everybody just talk up the SIL to her in school. And we'll review that again on October 22nd of 2025. That's a 9 o'clock docket. Same with our review on the other children. We'll continue the department as permanent managing conservator and continue all of their placements. And I'll see you back on the same day, October 22nd, for a review on them as well.
Great. Thank you,
All
Ron.
right, I appreciate it. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Judge.
Everybody have a good day.
Thank you. I apologize again.
No problem.
Thank you.
Our review hearing, we are conducting this through Zoom. We are live streaming, and Ms. Taylor's making our record for us. All right, we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Todd Albee on behalf of the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. I'm present and ready to proceed, Your Honor. Shay Cairns is the St. Francis Ministries permanency specialist who will be giving us an update on the children this morning.
All right, Mr. Morales, the father, is not present. Ms. Mullinax, who is the ad litem for the children, I don't have present either. I'll keep an eye on a waiting room for both of them. And of course, Casa is present with us today. Okay, then what do we have new since the court report was filed? Ms. Cairns?
Well, we fixed the termination order, so the Kaylee and Aaron will be moved over to the adoption unit, most likely this week, so we can get that done before end of year. I know they have been very anxious and ready to be adopted. I'm currently looking for a better placement for Sierra. Her level of care went down, so we're trying to get least restrictive. We're trying to still see what area she wants, because before it was Lubbock and Murillo, and now she wants to stay in that area down there. And then on Friday, I'm actually going to see Mr. Morales. He's going to sign some papers for us. So,
Okay. What is his kind of his level of intent or commitment at this point?
he said he hasn't talked to Sierra in a year. Sierra had told me she had talked to him, off and on for a little bit there, but he can't take her in. So he's just going to sign over his relinquishment. So
He is going to relinquish?
Yes, he is. So that way we can go ahead and move forward with her. I mean, she's going to be 18 next year, but you never know.
Yeah. Well, that was just a question I had today. Where are we with that? Because it seems like we're just kind of stagnating.
Yes, and that's why I told him, and I'm going to drive down to Dallas and just go get that done. But the kids are doing great. They're just ready to be done with everybody coming to see them, everybody talking to them, all of that.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Oh, yeah. Okay. They still all having contact?
Yes, they talk to each other often. They all talk, like Macy can call anytime. Sierra can call them whenever. I mean, they all have their days where they don't want to talk to each other, but that's siblings. And Macy can go and see them. Sierra right now. I don't believe she's went to see Kaylee and Aaron yet.
Okay.
I know that was something that they were allowed to do.
But they're aware. I mean, the kids all know that Aaron and excuse me, Kaylee are going to soon be adopted.
Yes.
Okay. Well, hope we'll find something where Sierra will at least like it and she'll thrive there. So
Yes, she has she's going to cosmetology school now. She switched it up on us.
okay. Well, I'm glad she's doing that. Better than just sitting in a room somewhere.
Oh, definitely. She's made a big change over the last couple of months.
Okay. All right then. Casa, anything to add today?
Yes, Judge, I'm just so proud of, can you hear me? I'm sorry, it's still showing red. Okay. I'm real proud of all the kids. They're doing amazing. Aaron and Kaylee are just thriving and are very anxious to be adopted. Sierra has done very well, and like she said, that she has lowered her level of care. So I'm very proud of the choices that she's made. She is working hard to try to graduate. She even, I think, applied to some colleges, and so she was looking at cosmetology or possibly construction. So she's got a wide range of things that she's looking at. She's done very well, and I think she's definitely proved. I am still a little concerned because when she gets a little inch, she kind of takes a mile. So if she's in a least restrictive, I'm a little concerned about that, but I do think she has worked hard to get that opportunity. Maisie has gone to visit Aaron and Kaylee a couple of times. And they keep in touch regularly. Also, she keeps in touch with Sierra. I don't think she's made a trip yet, but I know she wants to, and she talks to her very often. So they are in touch weekly, and they all are aware about the adoption. Sierra is still saying she does not want to be adopted and just wants to kind of do her own thing. But she, like I said, she's doing very well. I'm proud of all of them.
Okay. Well, cosmetology, guess that could be a form of construction. I think it is out in LA, isn't it? Okay. Now I'm glad to get a good report on all of them. So we will continue the department as permanent managing conservator. I'll continue all the kids' placements, and we will get back together, review, let's see, March 25th. Now, if you get that relinquishment, and everybody's ready to go on that, has a modification been filed?
Judge, I'm not aware. Gail may know.
No, Your Honor. Mr. Graff and I were discussing that before he went on leave. So when he gets back, we'll get that filed.
Okay. All right. So we'll just see, Ms. Cairns, if you are able to secure that and we need to move something up, then y'all let us know. Otherwise, we'll get together March 25th of 2026, and that'll be on a 9:00 docket. I have Heather Eubanks in the waiting room.
Your Honor, I think she came. I don't know why she appeared, but that's the worker for Maisie.
Oh, okay. Let me bring her in. She may not have realized we weren't technically doing a review on her today. I didn't think so. Ms. Eubanks?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm sorry. I've got Annika on the phone with me right now. I'm sorry.
Were you logged in for the Sheffield Gomez?
No, I'm here for Freeman.
Okay. Freeman, apparently we're not having a hearing on today.
Okay, I'm in the wrong court. I'm sorry. I have two going on. I apologize. I have two going on at the same time. I apologize.
No problem. Okay. Have a good day.
Thank you.
I'm Gene Graff. I don't think we've worked together before. It's nice to meet you.
No, I don't think so. It's nice to meet you too. I'm down here in the southern part of the state.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I haven't gotten a chance to get up there to visit you all in person.
Well, welcome to Amarillo virtually, man.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I will, obviously you represent the department, is that right, Mr. Graff?
That's correct. That's correct.
And so I'll rely on you to help me know when everybody's here that you're expecting.
Sure, absolutely. And so I would be looking for Shay Cairns as the permanency specialist in that case.
Okay.
Okay, I've also got Marvell Collins. Is she a supervisor?
She is,
Okay.
and she's supervisor for this week, I believe.
I see Miss Cairns.
Okay. So I also have a Christina Dingus. Does that name mean anything?
I believe she might be the placement in the second case, the Shelp case.
Okay. I don't have Aaron Molinax just yet, or I know that Sierra was wanting to appear. So I don't have her yet either.
And I know Ms. Lucera. There's Miss Lucera.
Yes.
And I apologize in advance. My video is not very good, and I lost my background and everything, and so I'm trying to adjust. But y'all will just have to bear with me.
You're fine.
Miss Haynes. Oh, you're muted.
I'm sorry about that.
You're fine. Do you have Sierra with you?
I do not, no ma'am.
Okay.
I will message a placement right now. They should be getting on.
Thank you.
The child, or actually, I can let the court know and the parties know. I think most of the parties already know, if not all of them. But we're on for a number of matters. But we did file. We just filed a motion to dismiss the conservatorship as to Kaylee and Aaron since they were adopted in December.
Okay.
And then we're supposed to be on a final for Sierra, but we would like to proceed and treat that as a permanency hearing, as she's going to be aging out in 3 months and has had contact with her father. And we can get into that on the record, but I just want to let Your Honor know.
Okay.
Matters.
Yeah, I read the notes on that case, but there was a lot of stuff going on there and a lot of different parties. So I'm glad for that clarification.
You're welcome. It'll make it simple for all of us this morning, hopefully.
Okay, sounds good.
And Judge, I talked to Sierra about 20 minutes ago, and they were, I think, driving in a car. So that may be why they're not on. I'm not sure.
I just heard from placement, and she says that they are on, but they're waiting to be let in. And she sent me a screenshot of the waiting link.
I don't have them in my waiting room. What name are they under?
Probably Griselda.
No, I don't have them in our waiting room. Is she in the right one, you think?
Let me check.
Yeah, she asked me yesterday if it was the same one for the 9:30, and I said it's always the same one now, so I don't know.
Yes, she said that it's under her name, Griselda.
Yeah, I've got 3 people, and they're for the next hearing.
Okay, thank you. I will send her another link.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm bringing her in now.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello, yes, you're on the call.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we think this is everybody?
I believe so, Your Honor, yes.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and call the case now. Is our court reporter, Ms. Taylor, you ready? Okay, she's ready. We're set today for several things. We were set for a bench trial, a permanency review after a final order on one child. We also have a motion to dismiss before the court. So I'm going to ask for announcements to start with, so we'll know who's here. And I'm going to start with Mr. Graff. If you would announce your name and then state which matters you wish to go forward with today.
Morning, Your Honor, Counsel Eugene Graff on behalf of Department of Family and Protective Services, along with Ms. Shay Cairns, who is the permanency specialist for this case. We are on, as the court indicated, for a number of matters this morning, including a final bench trial in the matter of Sierra. We're also on for a permanency review after final for Kaylee and Aaron And at this point in time, we would like to not proceed with the final on Sierra. We would be asking for a dismissal of the conservatorship as to Kaylee and Aaron, who both were adopted on December 22nd of last year. So we would be moving to dismiss their permanency or permanent managing conservatorship. And then as to Sierra, we would like to treat today's hearing as a permanency hearing. She'll be 18 in 3 months. The matter was set, prompted by Judge Baker at the last permanency hearing, based on reports of no contact or communication between Sierra and her father. Her father had a possessory rights that were ordered after her final. Since that time, the department has learned that Sierra and her dad have been having contact, and she's, I understand, making plans to relocate to be living near her father when she turns 18. So at this point in time, we think it's kind of a waste of the court's time and resources to proceed with a termination proceeding when essentially they're having contact per the pre-existing court order. So
Okay.
that's, I think, covers everything this morning.
All right, we'll find out. Thank you, Mr. Graff. That was very thorough. All right, who else do we have here? I see Miss Mullinax.
Yes, Your Honor, Erin Mullinax, attorney ad litem for Sierra at this point. She is present, as you heard, under Griselda Acevedo. And I would agree that the other two were adopted, so they just need to be non-suited out of the case completely.
All right, thank you. Do we have other attorneys on this case then? Let's see.
Your Honor, Lorraine Lucero, I represent Manuel Morales, who is Sierra's father. He will not be present today. I'd advised him as to how we were likely to proceed, so I'm ready.
Okay, thank you. And then I think we have a CASA representative here as well. Would you state your name, please, if you're here for CASA?
I think she's having trouble getting her mute off. The CASA is Heather Overmiller, and I'm Heather's supervisor, Jamie Hall.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and so we'll note for the record that I believe Ms. Lucero notified Ms. Katie recently, or maybe this morning, that her client was not going to appear. The court did arrange for a Spanish interpreter for him, but we have dismissed that interpreter since he is not present. But just wanted to have for the record that the arrangements were made for him to have an interpreter. So it seems like there's no objection to the dismissal of the case as to Kaylee and Aaron. Is that correct? No objections?
No objection.
Okay. All right. With no objections, the court will take judicial notice of the fact that those two children were adopted on December 22nd, 2025, and the court will dismiss the department as the permanent managing conservator of those two children. As to the child Sierra, we will proceed today as to a permanency hearing. Let me ask Ms. Cairns, I believe you will be testifying, and the CASA worker, if you will be testifying, to please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So you may proceed with your case, Mr. Graff.
Thank you, Your Honor. If I could ask Ms. Cairns to unmute herself. She's unmuted. So, Ms. Cairns, are you the current caseworker?
Yes, sir.
And how long have you been assigned?
Since the opening, so a couple years.
Okay. And there was a final hearing previously held regarding Sierra and her father. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And her father is who?
Manuel Morales.
Okay. And at the time of the final hearing, was Mr. Morales, were his rights terminated?
They were not.
Okay. And he was given some sort of possessory rights. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And do you recall when we were last in court, what your testimony was about the contact that Mr. Morales was having or not having with his daughter at that time?
Yes.
And go
sorry.
ahead. No, go ahead.
They spoke briefly, and they're talking more now.
Okay. So at that time, the contact, would you say, was it minimal?
Yes,
Okay. But that is not the case today. Is that right?
that's correct.
Okay. And the department had filed a motion to modify the original final order in the case. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that was to move forward to terminate Mr. Morales' rights. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. As it stands today, do you feel that it's appropriate to proceed in that direction, or is it more appropriate to, and in Sierra's best interest, to continue under the previous final order?
That they have the contact, yes.
Okay. And when does Sierra turn 18?
In June.
Okay. And do you know what her plans are?
I believe she's just wanting to go get her car now from her dad, and then she's wanting to go into extended care.
Okay. So she did. Okay. So that's changed since we last spoke.
Yes, I think she was a little bit back and forth with it on when she wanted to come back.
Okay.
I thought it was the whole summer, but it's not.
Okay. And she's currently placed where?
At a foster home in Loveland.
Okay. And how's she doing in that placement?
Well, as of recently, we've had some issues. She was doing well at the beginning, but it's become a little rough lately.
Okay. What kind of behaviors are we dealing with?
She stole some money from Griselda, $400 around that. She's been caught with THC vapes. And last night she tried to run. I spoke with her briefly this morning, asked her what was going on, and she just doesn't want to be there now.
Okay. Has there been any legal cases related to the stealing of the foster parents' money?
No, she's working that money off with the people that she stole it from.
Okay. As it stands right now, is it in her best interest to remain in that placement?
I've actually got a placement request going out to see if we could get her moved. I think it would be better for everybody right now. And Sierra wants to be moved.
Okay. Are there any other plans or services that she needs in order to either shore that up in the short run or to get her stabilized in the new placement once that happens?
We don't have any currently, but I'm going to staff with my supervisor, see if we need anything.
Okay. Okay. Have you had a chance? You said that she indicated she would like to be moved. Has she expressed any preference about reunifying with her dad?
No, she wants to stay in the Lubbock area.
Okay.
Macy's there, her sister. And that's what she knows. So she's wanting to stay there. And hopefully a placement, the SIL programs will accept her there.
Okay. At this point in time, is it in her best interest then to remain in the state care and custody under the existing conservatorship?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Pass the witness.
Ms. Lucero, did you have any questions?
Just a couple, Your Honor. Thank you. Ms. Cairns, when you said SIL programs, I'm sorry, I don't think I've heard that before. What is that?
It's the independent living.
Okay, so she could go from the placement that she's at now to independent living at this point, or will it be when she's 18?
When she's 18.
Okay, okay. So she would temporarily maybe go somewhere for now, and then when she turns 18, then okay. And that's what I wanted to be clear on. Okay. All right, that's all I have, Your Honor. I'll pass the witness.
All right, thank you. Ms. Mullinex?
Thank you, Your Honor. Shay, you said that she had been doing well in the placement until recently. That's been about the last month, is that right?
Yes.
He's had like 5 incidents in the last month. Would you agree?
Yeah.
And you said you put in for a placement change. Do you know how long, or do you have another placement in mind at this point?
We don't right now, but I'm worried about her behaviors are going to cause her to go down to an RTC again. Because it's hard to find, the placements with those behaviors with the THC and then the stealing money.
And so she's on here and can hear you. So are you saying that she needs to be good in placement until she gets a new one?
Yes,
So she
I
doesn't have
talked
to
to her.
go?
Oh, yes, I talked to her this morning about that as well.
Okay, and did she seem like she understood that?
She wasn't too happy to hear me talk to her about it, but I mean, I guess so.
And
We'll see.
she's having a psychological today to get an update on that. Is that right?
Yes.
And is there anything else that's needed for her to be successful that we think?
Not at this time. She's done the substance abuse in the past, so maybe do another one of those. But we can look at that.
And I think she's got a class she's got to finish work for in school. Was it maybe math or something to get caught up?
Yes. I apologize.
Anything else? Is she doing well in the other classes?
Whenever I speak with her, she says she's doing, she needs some help, but I didn't realize it was as bad as it is with the grades. I do know math is an issue. I think they were looking at tutoring for after school.
And so we want to make sure that she gets the tutoring or whatever she needs to make sure she's successful, even if she decides to end up leaving care. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll pass the witness.
Any other questions for this witness?
Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Any other witnesses to call?
Not from the state, Your Honor. The state wrestling closes.
All right. Anybody else have a witness to call?
Judge, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Ms. Mullinex.
I was going to say I'd call Heather Overmiller, the CASA.
Okay. I was going to ask for a CASA report anyway, so I'm glad you are calling her.
Okay. Heather, you have contact regularly with Sierra and her placement. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
What concerns does CASA have at this time with Sierra?
I have some pretty big concerns. A lot has changed in the last month, as you know. She was doing very, very well, but it feels like she's kind of snowballing. So I am concerned about the choices that she's making with graduating, with the vaping, and as well as the running.
And so is there anything that you're requesting the court to change at this point so that we can get her maybe more help, or do you have any ideas for that?
I do. I don't have an idea of what that is, but I know she's done the substance abuse in the past. So I don't know if there's a different program that's available for her, or more counseling. She was very upset when I talked to her last night, and wasn't able to really explain what has changed or what happened. So I don't know if she's talking with someone to get herself out of this, but I'm concerned. I know there's in the works for her to move placements. And I do recommend that she is moved to a more restrictive environment, because she seems to, when there is opportunity, she has a hard time making those choices.
And is there anything, since the judge was going to ask for an update from CASA, is there anything else that you would like to tell the judge that I didn't ask you about?
No, like I said, I was super proud of her. She was doing so well. She had big plans of graduation and going to college for cosmetology as well as welding. She wanted to do both. And she was making friends and just doing really, really well. So for this big switch, I have lots of concerns for her, especially after she's 18 and she is on her own or whatever she decides to do. So I'm not sure what all we can do to help prepare her for that, but I feel like she needs something.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Anyone else have questions for Ms. Overmiller?
No questions, Your Honor.
No questions.
Okay. And you pretty well covered. Is there anything you want to add as the attorney ad litem? And I kind of want to hear from Sierra, but I don't want to force her to say anything, but I'm hoping that you're listening, Sierra, and that you're understanding that everyone's concerned. And I just wonder what happened. If she's been doing so well, it seems like there's something must have triggered something. Do you have any ideas about that, Ms. Mullinex?
Well, Your Honor, and the reason I called Heather is because Heather has a lot more communication with Sierra than I do. And so I know about the issues that have occurred in the placement, and I know about her wishes. I don't really know how to fix the placement because I'm not sure what's wrong with it, Your Honor. But I would say that if we need to get her moved as soon as possible so that she doesn't have to go back to an RTC, then that would be my recommendation. I don't know what else to do. I mean, she's about to be 18 and it's kind of hard at this age. I know a lot of the people in this hearing have been involved in kids around this age pretty recently. And it's pretty hard to do a lot if they're not cooperating or interested in the help.
Right.
But
I know firsthand about the difficulties of finding placement once you start exhibiting behavioral problems and maybe drug related issues or stealing, that becomes very, very difficult for the caseworker to try to find an appropriate place. And most teenagers don't want a more restrictive placement, but on the other hand, if their behavior is not appropriate, then that's what they're going to be facing. So I see that Griselda Acevedo is on the call, and I think Sierra's with her. Do either one of you have any comments or questions or anything you want to add that could help us in this situation?
And Judge, before they talk, Taylor Haynes is also with her placement too. So if she may have something to talk about as well.
Now, who is Taylor Haynes in the case?
I'm Taylor Haynes. I'm the treatment coordinator for the foster home that licensed Griselda is.
Okay, thank you. So do any of the three of y'all then have any comments or suggestions or requests or questions, anything that could help us with this? Because I do think it's very difficult if she's only got 3 months before she turns 18. And the other thing I would say, just before any of you chime in, that I know that a supervised independent living program is a really great option, but you have to be accepted into that program. And so you have to be able to demonstrate that you can act responsibly and be mature enough to take care of yourself. And so that's an opportunity that could be really positive in a short period of time if Sierra's almost 18, but yet it may not be an option if those behaviors don't straighten themselves out. So do any of the three of you have anything to add? Ms. Haynes, as the treatment coordinator, or not sure exactly what you described your title. Can you describe what it is that you all might be trying to offer in this situation?
Yes. I did want to say last time I had spoke to Sierra, she did express a desire to speak at court. So I just wanted to say that. But yes, I am the treatment coordinator, so I do ongoing case management for the foster home, ensure that it's in compliance, and make sure that placement and Sierra both have all they need.
Okay. So Sierra, this is your opportunity. You supposedly wanted to speak out in court, so this is your chance to say what you would like to say or ask a question if you have a question.
No, ma'am, I don't have a question.
Do you have anything you would like to say at this point?
No, ma'am.
Are you hearing everything, all the concerns that people are expressing?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that something that you feel like that you can successfully do something about?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you right now wanting to move to another placement?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that, you said yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, it sounds like that's what they're trying to do, and find some place so that you can move to temporarily and hopefully be successful. As you heard your CASA say that, we want you to be successful whether you stay in care after you turn 18 or not. That's the whole whole purpose of everyone here is to try to help you get the educational resources, the career opportunities, and all those things that will take to help you be a responsible and happy adult. And that's not going to change whether no matter where you go.
Yes.
Anybody else have anything to add at this point? I didn't hear that there was any specific orders that you all were requesting. I will find that it is in the best interest of the child to remain in care at this time, and find that the department is making all reasonable efforts to finalize the permanency plan for her and find appropriate services for her. I would authorize a change of placement if you all can come up with one. And if there are any additional services that are needed, I do think she should be in therapy at a minimum. And if there are any other services, I think those would certainly be warranted.
Yeah, I know with the updated psychological, we would just ask that she be ordered to follow whatever recommendations come out of that, Judge.
Okay. Yeah, the court will order that there's a follow-up psychological evaluation that recommendations from that psychological be followed. And again, I would think it would certainly include counseling at a minimum. I'm not going to address the substance abuse part of it because I really don't know. I think that's something that needs to be assessed further just to see if that, but it seems to me that there's a good team here working with this case and with this family, and that you all are, that everybody seems to be on top of what's going on, and feel confident that you all can work together and come up with a good plan moving forward. And a lot of it's going to be up to Sierra as to whether she follows those recommendations or takes advantage of the opportunities that she has. Most people don't get free counseling and free career counseling and those kinds of things. And that's not to minimize any hardships that the children in his family have had in the past, because undoubtedly that is part of it. And I just got a message that she is in therapy at this time, so I'm glad to hear that. Again, I commend all of you for your work in this case, and ask you to keep up the good work. And we'll find it again that it's in the best interest of the child to remain in care at this time. And I don't know if you all usually have a subsequent hearing after 18, because Sierra's the only child left in this case. Is that correct?
That's correct, Judge.
So
we could set
it's set on the schedule for May 12th at 9:00 for another permanency review, but it wouldn't be a permanency review at that point. But I'll just leave that to Judge Baker and to Ms. Katie to determine. But there is a hearing set, just so that you all know. There's this hearing set May 12th at 9:00.
I mean, it may make sense given that the plan now is to go into the extended foster care program and have a check-in hearing. So we certainly have no objection to leaving that date on, Judge.
Okay. All right. Did I miss ordering anything or making any findings that I need? All right, then I wish all of you the best of luck. I know this is challenging right now, and so, but I wish you all the best of luck. And if nothing further, then all parties are excused.
Thank you. And I'm on the next matter, so I'll just, with your permission.
Yes, that's fine. We do have another matter.
Mr. Ratton is my social worker, I believe, on this matter.
Okay, so he's already with us.
Mm-hmm.
Your Honor, Mr. Zoll needs to be in.
Okay. And then I've got I have Tori Cook and Shay Grant out there. Do we need them for this, or are they here for another case?
Shay is here for the Sanchez case. I'm not sure about Ms. Cook.
We received an email saying that Ms. Cook was the new permanency specialist, I think on Ms. Sanchez.
Okay, we are here for an extended foster care review. Today, we are conducting this through Zoom or live streaming, and Ms. Taylor is making our record. Okay. Brayden is not in the waiting room, so I don't have him with us. We'll go ahead and take announcements.
Morning, Judge Gene Graff and Will Ratton on behalf of the department. Present, ready to proceed.
Erin Mullinex, attorney ad litem for the child, ready, Your Honor.
Okay, and Casa is present with us. All right, well, it continues to be disappointing news.
Yes, ma'am.
At least when the report was filed. So we got anything new?
Since the report, he's pretty much dropped out of contact. He was supposed to get himself enrolled in school, then he didn't. Supposed to get a job, then he didn't. The most report I get from him is from DePelchin. They have had him sneak into their residences several times and had to ask him to leave. When he was seen there, he would usually on camera, and a few of those times he looked intoxicated, either with alcohol or drugs, but they, weren't able to talk to him to know which that he had. He's just not cooperating with the system, does not want to do what is required of him to qualify in order to get some sort of placement.
And he's making that even more obsolete by the day. I mean, with what he's doing, I think even at this point, he's gonna have to do a massive turnaround before we could probably even get anybody to accept him.
Yes, Your Honor. The only one I've talked to that was even soft-hearted enough, I guess, was DePelchin, and she's got Erin Wiebe has got a bad taste from his actions previously.
Well, I'm sure she doesn't want that to influence her residents.
Exactly. She doesn't. She already has a difficult mix, and so bringing Brayden in would be even more difficult, especially because of friendship he has with another resident who is probably her most difficult.
Yeah. Okay. She may have to, if it continues, she may have to trespass him.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, which I hate, but okay, Ms. Molinax, any contact, anything to report?
No updates at all, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Casa.
I mean, nothing on my end. It's been no contact also. Jamie can talk to, he's reached out to her a couple times, but there hasn't been anything on my end at all.
Okay.
I haven't had contact with him. It's been several weeks. I think this was right after he had spoke with Jason, and he was, going to look into jobs and going to look into going to school, and but he's just not motivated. I think it's just he says what he wants to hear, what he thinks we want to hear, because he then follows it up with, I know you said you couldn't in the past, but is there any way you can send me money? Because I haven't ate. But I am looking for jobs, and I am looking, and I just keep telling him, I'm like, I need you to put forth some effort first. And, and I don't even entertain it anymore. I just told him until I see some effort on his end, he's going to have to start that. And so, the last time I, gave him the same spiel, he hasn't called me since. And so I don't know if he's still, I'm assuming he's still in Houston. He said he had friends there that he was staying with, but no progress at all.
Well, does he understand that probably everything's going to go dark here in a few months?
Yeah, I
Uh,
think we've all kind of encouraged him that, he needs to stay in touch with us and show some progress. And I know we've all told him, that as long as he's doing something, we will support and we will help and we will encourage. But so far he has just not pulled his weight at all. Just a lot of excuses. He said he's having a really hard time finding a job in Houston. And I told him I found that hard to believe. I mean, there's not a street corner you can't stand on and find 5 jobs within eye shot, probably. So, until, he's willing to put forth the effort, I told him there's not a lot we can do until he starts.
Yeah. Well, sadly, that's where we're at. And I guess, let's see, he left care in August. Is it August? I mean, coming up in August, we're on the cusp of.
He's been in and out of custody and placements and runaway all through that time. I mean, he spent one month in jail not too long ago, and he's been at a couple placements, mostly a couple weeks at a time. Then he'd run away, and then little bit of it at a time, and then run away. I mean, when he was, as I noted in my report, when we first were able to, myself and Will and our unit were able to talk to him, it was after he returned from runaway, and he was already 18 by then.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess we'll just stay in the wings for a few more months and kind of see where we are, and I'm just concerned that he signed an extended care agreement, correct?
He has signed some things, and he did his PAL classes by packet, but his efforts have been very mix match. Casa put it, well, I will do it, then he doesn't. I tell you I'm going to do it, and then he doesn't. So, I mean, he's got the paperwork, he's got those type of things, but he doesn't have any of the qualifications needed in place, especially with his criminal history, to show and get an SIL or similar program. I've sent him information for TLPs, transitional living programs in the area. I've sent him resources, walked him through how to enroll for classes, every aspect, but he doesn't follow through on that.
Well, here's the issue is he's not here telling me that he wants me to continue jurisdiction.
You are correct, Your Honor. I mean, as it is right now with his lack of contact, I think he's expressed how he wants to be interacted with or not.
Well, let me just, right now, there's not anything that any of us are able to do for him. So, do we pull the plug and just dismiss this whole thing right now? And, he's got a brief period of time he could come back in, I suppose.
Your Honor, if I may, on April 8th, you signed an order that put him in trial independence beginning March 21st, and it would end on September 17th by that order.
Okay, I was thinking I had in my head August, but so maybe that's it. So, we don't have another review hearing scheduled until October, but maybe Miss Katie, we can set a date close to that.
We could do that, Your Honor. He can also, even if jurisdiction's ended, if he chooses to and turns around, he can still come back into care until he's 21.
Right.
So, whether jurisdiction is in place or not, he still has access to his care, and resources if he'll utilize them.
Well, and that's kind of what I'm getting at. I mean, the truth is, all of your resources, could probably be better spent at this point in time. I mean, I hate to just, raise the white flag and give up on him, but the truth is he's not, he's not helping us help him. And so, and because he can come back in if he chooses to, is it time to call uncle and let you guys spend your time on, other things that are going to be more fruitful? Anybody have a strong feeling about it? Because I'm ready to go ahead and pull the plug if anybody, unless somebody's got a real strong objection to it.
No, Your Honor, I usually would argue against that type of thing, but in this case, he's just not wanting to participate.
And that's, I mean, I think it's telling for me, because I tend to have strong opinions, that I don't have a strong opinion one way or the other at this point. I mean, I think that's, at least for me, that's indicative of where we've gotten to with us.
Well, I mean, this is a situation where it's not anybody that I'm sitting here looking at. Everybody's gone above and beyond. It's nobody's fault that's sitting here. And everybody knows that. Nobody bears any blame for this. Nobody bears, I mean, it's part of the sad situation of a child that has been in care virtually his entire life. And, for whatever reason, he just, he doesn't want to try to overcome, those attachment disorders and all that goes along with that. And it's, it makes me very sad. And I don't want anybody to misconstrue my, what my underlying feelings are about this or about him. I wish it were a different situation, but I also know that each and every one of you are very busy people, and I'd rather have you involved, on with other kids, other young adults that are desperately seeking our help. So, because he can come back into care, I think it's just time that we all raise the white flag and I think somebody communicate to him that that's it. If he knows how to get a hold of, obviously he knows how to get a hold of Jamie. I mean, if he ever wants to come back into care, all he's got to do is make a phone call and then show us that he really wants to do it. But that as of now, then, or well, as soon as I sign an order, we're dismissed. We're done.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm not hearing any big objections, so that's what we're going to do today.
Your Honor, for the record, since I've had this case, I've seen nothing but dedication of this kid by this team. People going the extra mile. And I think the fact that there is a safety net in that he can come, he's got the possibility of coming back in if he chooses to. That's all we can do.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, we're just spinning wheels right now. So, yeah, and maybe it's good for him to hear that there is some finality to things. So, okay, well, I appreciate each and every one of you. You all have done amazing work. You've tried very, very hard. Mr. Ellison, you tried so hard with him, and Jamie, Casa, you guys especially, I know, because you were often his point of contact in all of this. And so I can't thank y'all enough and for everything that you've done for him and have tried to do for him. So, let's move on to our next challenge. Okay. Appreciate y'all. So we don't have any further hearing dates to announce. So that's it.
All right. Well, y'all take care, everybody.
All right, you too. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge, with regard to the next hearing, would you allow me to turn off my camera? I have to be in Canadian at 11 and I'm in White Deer.
Yeah.
Sitting here.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, no.
I'll still be here.
That's fine. We're here today on a review hearing. We're conducting this through Zoom and we're live streaming and Ms. Taylor is making our record. All right, we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Morning, Your Honor. Gene Graff, Shay Grant, and Tori Cook on behalf of the state, present and ready to proceed.
Aaron Mullen, attorney at Latham for the child ready.
Okay, since report, do we have anything new?
I don't have anything new, Judge. Everything continues to go well overall. Savannah's doing good in her placement. She's in a group home here in Amarillo. She does want to do extended care next year when she turned 18. There at the children's home. So I believe she may be doing summer school. That's one of her biggest struggles. Just keeping her grades up. She does have 504 accommodations and stuff like that. It's just she lacks motivation. But she doesn't have any major behavior issues. She takes her medication, she goes to therapy, and so overall everything is going well.
So my question was, from reading your report, did she get those things done before the end of the school year to avoid summer school, or is the answer we are probably doing summer school?
Yeah, I believe she's doing summer school.
Yes, and I'll add on to that. She is gonna take some classes this summer for summer school. And then, like Shay was saying, we're working on moving her into the transitional living cottage there at the children's home to prep her for adult living.
Okay. Good. All right, well, I'm glad to hear that she's at least saying right now that she wants to do extended care. I think that's good. Anything we can do to help her with the school situation?
I have called Tascosa High School and I'll call them again. I think getting her into a more self-paced program, which they have, might be more beneficial for her so she can actually focus on her classes and not have as many distractions in school. So I will call them again for this next year.
Okay. Does she struggle with certain things or does she just kind of struggle across the board?
It's across the board.
I mean, is it due to her being behind? Is it just due that she just doesn't like school, or do we?
I think it's more her developmental level isn't as high as it should be. So
okay. All right. I mean, as far as vocational programs and all that, I mean, since she's 17 now, have we looked at any of that? Would she maybe fare better doing a combined type thing, or I know Tascosa used to have a really good program.
Yeah, and when I call and talk to them again, I'll ask them about other options as well for her. I think that would be good.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that she might find it far more interesting doing something that she's going to learn a real skill, or something that she could do as a job, and she, let's face it, that may be way more beneficial to her than, geometry 3.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I will talk to them about that for sure.
Not picking on geometry, just,
I'll pick on geometry, not my
let's just say in my case, chemistry 2. Okay. So
some of us do better as humanities majors, Your Honor.
Yeah. Okay, let's just look and see what our options are. because we're getting down to the end of this, and even if she stays in extended care, I'd like to try to, let's channel her for something that maybe interests her.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Ms. Mullinax, anything?
The only thing I want to add is that I think the official summer school notice went out yesterday. And so I think it's maybe starts June 2nd, but it's not, there's no sign up till like, I think tomorrow maybe. And so if she's signing up, that we would know what she's taking. Hopefully, I'm not sure.
Okay. All right, then CASA.
So Savannah has a new CASA. Her name is Becky. She was unable to be here today. But Becky and Savannah have really bonded. They have a lot of things in common. They've really gotten along well, and she seems to really open up to Becky. Now, as far as school goes, with what Aaron said, the notice did go out yesterday. She is going to have to take classes. We just don't know which ones yet. And just, I don't know if Shay or Tori one said it, but it's her motivation, I think, is a lot of it. When Becky spoke with the school last week, this last 6 weeks, she had 15 missing assignments. And I think she had every single one of them. It was like, this one you just have to finish. This one you just need to check a few boxes. This one you just need to turn in. And she was like, and just didn't get it done. So Becky has really been working with her on the motivation thing and trying to find out what motivates you. What can I help with motivating? She's been working with the cottage parents to try and figure out what they can do together. And as far as future goes, she did say she wants to stay in. And so Becky was really going to try and look into Tascosa or, the dual programs or anything that she could do, nails, hair, whatever that may be, that might spark her interest, like you say, more than geometry, more than, getting her physics homework in or whatever. So I know that is something that Becky said she was really going to try to work on over the summer with her, was trying to figure out where her interest is and what might be, in a good fit for her.
Okay. I'm thrilled to hear that. If we can find what motivates her, that may be the key.
I did mean to add as well, they got her a mentor through Amarillo Angels. And so hopefully that's helping as well.
Okay. Good deal. All right, then I hope we'll have a good summer and maybe we can drum up a few ideas or answers. So I will continue the department as permanent managing conservator. I will continue her current placement. And I'll see everybody back October 22nd, 9 a.m. to see where we're at.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. I just know I was never very motivated by physics or chemistry. So,
or geometry.
Or I kind of like geometry, but some of those others.
I was reading my literature books in my geometry class. So.
Higher math was never my forte.
Yeah, I have an undergrad art degree, so I'm right there with you, Your Honor.
Okay, I assume everybody out there is here for our next one, so I'm bringing everybody in.
Yes, ma'am.
All 50 of them. Just about.
And Judge, while we're doing that, could I have a breakout room with Mr. Garcia?
Yep, hang on, let me get you all set up. Let me see. All right, Miss Grant, everybody will get your prompts here in just a second. Okay, Miss Riley, I will put you and Mr. Garcia to 3. Anybody else need anything?
I just asked the court to note for the record that I have not asked for breakout room this morning.
I already, I'd already made notes all over my paperwork.
And Your Honor, this is Bethany Stevens. I am driving, so I'm keeping my camera off for that reason.
Okay. All right, I need to jump over, y'all, while they're talking. Let me jump over and talk to this young lady, and I'll be back here in just a minute.
We can try and get a hold of her.
I'm sorry, I had just stepped away. Were you
That's
talking?
okay. Can you see if Kayla Martinez is back in the waiting room? She didn't pop into the breakout room and now she's gone.
Okay, yes, yeah, I'm letting her in.
Thank you.
And let me look at, I've got a Dylan Casey as well. Let me see.
Okay. And we were supposed to go, Rachel, when you have a second, Kayla, I'm in breakout 2.
Okay, breakout 2. Okay, Miss Martinez.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna move you in with your attorney in room 2, okay?
Okay.
Okay, hold on one second. Okay. And Joel, did you need a breakout room with Mr. Casey?
You know, I didn't see his name up there, but now that I see it, yes, ma'am, I do, please.
Okay, yes, let me go ahead and.
Can we note that for the record that Joel did ask for a breakout room?
Let's not do that.
Well, as soon as she calls the case, I'm sure the judge can make a note immediately. Okay, hold on. Let me move you guys into room 4. Okay, Joel.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Casey, you're going to get a prompt to go to a breakout room to speak privately with Mr. Jackson. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So he is calling his lawyer to see whether or not she's going to appear this morning, and I'm going to stay put just to see what the judge wants me to do for this morning.
Okay, and who is his counsel?
He said he hired Leslie Timmons.
Leslie Timmons.
She's the county attorney in Wheeler.
Okay. Leslie Timmons.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, we'll wait and see if she pops in. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. We're back.
We're just waiting for Mr. Jackson and his client, Mr. Casey.
Judge, I thought Mr. Jackson didn't ask for a breakout room today.
I don't know, because he did after I left.
Well,
He tricked you.
No, technically, I asked him if he needed it.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Because
so it was me.
he was having a good day, Rach.
Yeah, I think his day is okay so far. I don't know if that quite ruined it.
We won't count that. Tell him we're gonna let him slide.
Yeah, that sounds good.
We're here today scheduled for our adversary hearing in this matter. We're conducting this through Zoom under a finding of good cause and agreement of the parties. We are live streaming, and Ms. Taylor is making our record this morning. Okay, we'll go ahead and take announcements.
Morning, Your Honor, Counsel. This is Gene Graff and Lori Martinez on behalf of the department. Present, ready to proceed.
Stacy Grant on behalf of the mother, Kayla Martinez. My client's present and we're ready to proceed.
Judge Tracy Riley, I'm appearing today for Marcus Garcia, but when I went to the breakout room with Mr. Garcia, he informed me that he had retained counsel. But I stayed because I'm not sure what Your Honor wants to do with that because I don't see his retained counsel here. I advised him to go ahead and call her, and I don't know if he has an update for Your Honor, or if you want to do that in a second once you've done the rest of announcements.
Yeah, we'll
I
take that up.
actually can give you an update on that because I got an email from Leslie Timmons. I'm sorry, this is Bethany Stevens, the ad litem for the children. I got an email from Leslie Timmons who stated she had been hired for the family court case. She did not say she'd been hired for the CPS case.
Okay, and no answer has been filed in our cause number. So for today's purposes, she is not counsel of record for Mr. Garcia. Ms. Riley is.
And I am fine to proceed forward for today, Your Honor, but I don't know what Mr. Garcia's position is to this hearing because he was not acting as me being his attorney, so he did not inform me of anything that he would like.
Okay, let me take the rest of the announcements,
Yes, ma'am.
and then I'll come back to that.
Sage Seal, Your Honor, I'm here for respondent father Albert Leos Jr., the father of Alexis Kylie, is present, and we are ready.
Joel Jackson on behalf of Brooks Barfield for Dylan Casey, present and ready, Your Honor.
All right, thank y'all. And Casa is also present with us. Let me get that on the record. Okay, Mr. Garcia.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. you applied for court-appointed counsel, and you were appointed, Ms. Riley, in this matter. There apparently is, you may have retained an attorney to file a private action for you.
Okay. Yes,
That's
ma'am.
what it sounds like to me, but your attorney has not apparently gone on record to represent you in this case.
Okay.
I know that's a little confusing, but at this moment in time, they are one. I mean, they're different cases.
Yes, ma'am.
And so, for today's purposes, Ms. Riley is going to serve as your counsel. So knowing that, do you need a few more minutes to speak with her?
Yes, if you do not mind.
Okay. All right. Ms. Riley, I'm going to put you back to your breakout room.
Thank you.
I'll reassign you because he probably didn't know how to get back to that same one. So
I think I do, ma'am. It just
Okay.
says join room 3.
yeah, you can go back to 3. Then Ms. Riley,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
can go back to 3.
Thank you,
Great.
Judge.
Okay, everybody, we're going to give them just a couple minutes, and so I can understand how that would have been confusing to Mr. Garcia.
Judge, if I could please, could I get in with Gene Graff and trying to find the Bethany Stevens, please, in a breakout room?
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. Mr. Jackson, you can put yourself back to 4. I'll
Yes,
move
ma'am.
in there with you.
Judge, if Mr. Jackson doesn't oppose, this is Sage. Could I also join that room?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
And someone may have to put me in there because sometimes my phone gives me the option and sometimes it doesn't.
Okay, I'm going to assign you there and let's see.
Do you just need all attorneys or how do you want to do it, Joel?
Oh, he's probably gone already.
I bet he is.
I mean, you're not going to have everybody because you won't have Ms. Riley. I can put you
Right.
in there, and if they want you to stay, you can stay. If they don't,
And I
want
can
you-
pop back out. That'd be great, Judge.
I guess they could kick you out if they don't.
We
want
might
you.
could reach an agreement. Who knows?
Let me put you in there. Okay, we're getting everybody back in. I moved Miss Stevens. She's on her phone. She might have hung up. Hang on.
Her connection was a little dodgy in the breakout room, so she might have had to log back in.
Okay, I'll watch for her. All right, I'll be watching for her. We'll go ahead and call this and get started on announcements. It may take us till noon just to get announcements done. All right, I guess we started, correct?
Yeah,
I think, did we get everybody? I think we did.
I think we did.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. And then I forgot we needed to let Ms. Riley talk with her client. So, okay. We'll give it a second and see if Ms. Stevens gets logged back in.
And I will alert the court while we're waiting for Ms. Stevens. In the main, I think we have an agreement. I know she has some requests that we need to put on the record, but as far as the adversary hearing itself, the substance of it, I think the parties are all in agreement.
Okay, great. You're all my favorite people.
Yeah.
And Your Honor, just for the record, I'm sure Jean will go into this, but each child and set of parents has previous Attorney General court orders that exist. And I've collected them all and sent them to everybody in the case, and I sent them to Miss Katie if nobody objects to the court having them.
Not only do we not object, counsel, but as I indicated in the breakout room, we were planning to move to transfer and ask the court to transfer and consolidate those orders. I think it's going to be in the party's best interest and make this case a lot easier to wrangle all these competing issues into this one proceeding.
No objection.
No objection.
No objection.
No objection.
Okay, so the plan is to consolidate all of those prior cases into our cause number.
Yes, ma'am. And I appreciate Ms. Grant getting those all organized and sent, because that's going to also just help everybody.
Yeah, and of course, then if this case ends up in a dismissal or something, then those cases are still out there.
Mhm.
And
And
then
they're-
everybody goes their own, then everybody can go back their own directions.
Correct. And those orders are in 3 different counties too. So we have one in Wichita, one in Gray, and one in Childress.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Groff, if you want to go ahead and announce what is agreed. Oh, here she comes. Here she comes. Okay, Miss Stevens, do we have you?
Yes, Your Honor, I apologize for that.
No, no problem. All right. Okay, so Mr. Groff, if you want to go ahead and announce what you believe is agreed, that we'll start with that.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I believe we have an agreement from the mother to TMC and placement and to work services. I believe we have a similar agreement from all the dads. The children have all been placed with their respective dads. I know Mom raised some issues, and Miss Stevens has a request. I don't believe there's an objection in talking with the dad's attorneys about drug testing. But beyond that, I'll defer to the parties. But I believe in the main, that's the agreement.
Okay, so I guess the question is that, well, first of all, Ms. Grant, is that you and your client's agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. Based on where the kids are right now, we've agreed that preliminarily, she has no issues with that. We do have some issues that we've agreed to resolve through drug testing and alcohol testing. And she's asking that her mother be considered secondary placement to put all 3 children together should any issues arise in the case where they cannot remain where they are.
Okay, all right. Certainly reasonable request. Just something we keep on the back burner, I suppose.
Yes, Judge.
Okay. All right, and then Mr. Jackson, clarify if you will, is your client agreeing to TMC or what's the situation?
Judge, honestly, I haven't had that discussion. I know the discussion that I had with him is that that he wanted the child to remain with him. The child has been with him since early in the case and wanted that to happen. He was asking me about his child support obligation in the Attorney General case. I talked to the other attorneys and asked to terminate that obligation, and Ms. Grant and the other attorneys agreed that that would be proper if he's not positive, on a drug test, that he can go forward and terminate that. But other than that, Judge, I think everything else is agreed to.
Well, okay, I mean, but I kind of got to know, are we wrapping the fathers into this? I mean, are they going to remain active participants, in this case? I mean, this has been presented as a legal removal and not a participation case. So, I mean, I can place with dads and keep that placement. That's not a problem, but I can't have them out there just dangling, they gotta, they're either, the department's named TMC and they're either possessory in this case and placement, or I can't have 3 dads just out there in the wind. In other words, in a removal case.
That's what the mother is asking for, Your Honor. I don't know if the attorneys for the dads, if that's what they're agreeing to, but that's what the mother is asking and agreeing to.
That all parents,
Your Honor,
participate in work services and do the normal thing that we do in a legal removal case. That's her request.
Yes, Your Honor. She believes that there are past issues that may have been resolved. We don't know. But they can be resolved by some simple tests and evaluations. And if there are no issues, then obviously dads are placement, and then they could be dismissed at any point that it's appropriate.
And Your Honor, this is Bethany, the ad litem. If I may briefly, while I have a signal, I agree with what Stacy just said. I believe I've spoken to all three children. I've spoken to all three dads, and I spoke to one grandmother. I believe that all three dads need to work services. There needs to be drug testing. I also want to see a psych eval for all three dads. I want them working services. Two of the dads are wonderful. There's one dad that I think would greatly benefit from parenting classes and counseling and things like that. There's a lot of underlying anger. The other request I would make is that this court make it abundantly clear to all dads that there's to be no discussion of litigation or bad mouthing of mom during this case. That's not been a problem except with one, but I do want that clear. And then the last thing I would ask the court to make clear to the dads is I intend to actually go and meet with each child in person. I've only spoken to them on the phone, but I want to go and meet them face to face in person to have private conversations with them. I would like the court to make it abundantly clear to the fathers that I am to have that kind of access to speak to those children in private.
Okay. And as soon as I know where we are with, if they're agreeable to the department being TMC and they're agreeable to work services, then I will make that very clear. So I come back to that question. I guess, so the question is then, so Mr. Jackson's indicated he didn't have that conversation with Mr. Casey. Mr. Casey, do you understand what is being said or suggested? I mean, they're wanting you to participate in this case. You have placement of your child, but they want you to periodically drug screen and do some other services.
Okay. I mean, I don't mind. Now I'm kind of on your side. I see what you're saying, because then it's like we would be left in the wind, and that's not right. I mean, if I'm not bad mouthing, but if the mother has been messing up for this long, right? And we have all had our jobs and we've seen our kids on the regular as much as we have tried to be, like you said, that's a participation. I don't think she's at any right to request anything, but I'm definitely not objecting to anything.
Well, the issue, Mr. Casey, is that, if you agree to name the department as temporary managing conservator, the state has the legal custody of the child. This goes not for just Mr. Casey. This is as to every child and each dad. But you still have your parental and custodial rights.
Okay.
As the father of the child. And of course, we have then another question there for at least Mr. Casey and for Mr. Garcia. Do those prior orders clearly adjudicate them? That was a question I had.
Yes, they're Attorney General orders, Your Honor. Everyone is an Attorney General order, and they are adjudicated fathers to each child.
Okay, every child has already been adjudicated. So, all right, great. Okay, that simplifies that. But so to the dads, if you agree to the department being named TMC and you agree to work services, that means you're going to be under a court order at some point to go to counseling or go to parenting classes or go drug test as requested. And those services may look different for each of you, just depending on what we kind of assess your strengths and your weaknesses are. If your strengths are there and we don't think you need parenting classes to help you, then, I don't want to put you through that. But if we feel like, there's, maybe a temper problem or a little anger problem about some things, we might send you to something like that. We might ultimately even engage you all with some co-parenting type counseling, so that moving forward, when we're out of this, you and the mom and the respective fathers maybe can work better together. So those services may look different, but nonetheless, they would be court-ordered services, and I would expect you to work them. And there are consequences if you don't work them. Your children could be taken out of your care or out of your home. So, you know, I'm happy to let you talk to your lawyers again, but I'm just, this is a,
Yes,
it's
if
a
you would,
procedural thing I can't get past until I know that.
yeah.
And Your Honor, my client wanted to clarify, since you're speaking directly to Dylan, she did want to put on the record that her and Dylan do co-parent well together, and she believes that just the testing for him is all she's asking for, is the initial testing, and only because she's asking for that equally across the board, not because she has a specific issue with Dylan
Well, you
or
know,
Albert.
the bottom line is when we're involved, everybody gets drug tested at least once.
Yes.
That's just
Yeah.
all there is to it, you know?
Oh, sorry.
We're gonna cross those T's and dot that I, and because we know, we want to know right up front if we got an issue or not. And we may want to randomly test you because we want to make sure that we've dotted those I's and crossed those T's and that we're all good. So, you know, drug screening is pretty much a given that's gonna happen up front, and it may happen during the course of the case. You know, I certainly would instruct the department not to abuse that. They, generally speaking, I don't think they do. If those aren't apparent issues, you know, they're not gonna make you go do that routinely. But, you know, I guess, let me just ask, in with respect to Mr. Garcia and Mr. Leos, is that Ms., let me just start with Ms. Riley. Is that something you've discussed with him, and is he willing to do those things?
We have discussed it briefly, Judge, but I don't, I mean, I think that it's not that he in theory, and again, I know we're kind of going round and round. It's not that in theory he has a problem with doing some services, but I don't think there's any grounds or any allegations against him that the department has made that would allow the department to force him into the case. And I don't think that he wants to be put in that position. You know, I think ultimately he is the father. He's had visitation. He's maintained visitation with his child. I know that he and the ad litem disagreed and had a conversation where they disagreed about how Mr. Garcia parents his child, specifically in respect to he believes in being honest with his child who is 11. And if his child asks him, you know, is mom using drugs, that he will say yes. And because he wants that honesty and he doesn't want to lie to his child. And so I think he will do it in an age appropriate manner, but he does not want to lie to his child and then risk the trust that he would have with his child if he says, no, she's not. Because he's 11. He knows that he's been removed. He knows that something's going
And
on.
Your
Yeah.
Honor, I think there's an issue beyond that, in that Mr. Garcia currently resides with a woman who has had CPS cases and has a CPS history, and she's residing in the home with the child. And I think that in and of itself becomes an issue that the court and the department has to explore if the child is going to remain placed with Mr. Garcia.
Your Honor, now that it's all out there, because I wasn't actually going to put all of that out there at the first hearing, let me clarify. It wasn't I've been doing this almost 20 years. You are aware of that. I know how to handle children. And for example, with the other two dads, when the children said, hey, why can't I be with mom? I explained mom has to do some classes because even grown-ups have stuff we have to learn. And one of the dads, I believe it was Dylan, I loved this. He said, mom needs to work on herself and we need to love her enough to let her do that. And I loved that response. So when it came time to speak to the 11-year-old, and I have nephews and I've worked with a lot of 11-year-olds, when he clearly wasn't comfortable speaking to me at all with his dad listening in. And so when he finally did say, you know, what's going on? Why am I not with mom? I actually stole that from Dylan and said, mom needs to work on herself. There's stuff that even grown-ups need to work on, and we need to give her time to do that. At which point I was interrupted by a very angry person who was telling me not to lie to his kids. That's not a lie, number one. Number two, I also think that there's a lot of room for growth with the anger issue there after a long conversation, and he's the one bad-mouthing mom. And when I said, you will not talk about the litigation and you will not badmouth mom, he said, I'll say whatever I want to my own child. He's almost a man. I said, we'll see what the judge has to say about that. So now you've got the whole story.
And Judge,
Okay,
just,
so
I would say,
hang on.
no, go ahead.
Okay. I mean, I'm hearing just some very fundamental different parenting styles.
Absolutely.
Okay. But parenting styles, whether he chooses to tell the child the cold hard truth, or he tries to put that in an age appropriate way, or be a little evasive just to either protect the child's feelings or whatever. But I will say this, any order out of this court is going to include the fact that you do not discuss litigation of this case with the children, nor do you make any disparaging remarks about the other parent to the child within the sphere of the child's awareness, within their hearing. That can be a private conversation if you want to have it with your best buddy or with your spouse or with a significant other, whatever, but it's not to be a conversation in front of the child, because all you're doing is hurting the child. An 11-year-old has enough understanding to know I'm kind of half mom and I'm half dad. And when dad talks bad about mom, how does that translate to the 11-year-old? That means dad doesn't like that part of mom, and I'm half mom, so dad doesn't like half of me. I've heard kids describe it that way many, many, many times. So you can be honest with your children in an age-appropriate manner, but you can also do that without disparaging the other parent, because it does no good.
Absolutely.
And it can do a lot of bad. It does absolutely zero good, and it can do enormous damage.
And we've had that conversation, Judge, and I believe that Mr. Garcia understands that difference and understands that he does not need to, and that he won't say anything bad about her, that he just will be factual, but he understands he will not discuss the litigation or tell him what's going on, and he will not in any way disparage her or say anything bad about her. So he does understand that, and he may not have when he was talking to Ms. Stevens, but he does fully understand that now.
Mr. Garcia, I will tell you
Your Honor,
that
we would reiterate our concern regarding the CPS history with the other person in the home. That's just something that we always do in every case, and just need to make sure that that history is closed and a non-issue.
I would assume that the department would have crossed that off the list when they placed the child there. Mr. Groff, is that correct or not correct?
Yes. I believe Brian had said that they looked into that and that everything checked out, and that's why they placed him with me.
Yeah, that would be standard protocol. I mean, I'll defer to Mr. Armendariz, but I think Mr. Garcia is correct. That would have been standard before they would have agreed to place in the home.
All right, Mr. Armendariz, is that correct?
Correct.
Supposed to.
Okay, so that may be a non-issue from our perspective, Judge. That was the only concern I had through a legal things, because we had not discussed it amongst ourselves as the attorneys. But so long as there's drug testing and things, that was our concern, and I'll defer to Ms. Stevens as far as the anger issues.
Gusto is one.
Okay, so before I lose my
hand up that
thought,
way,
and I'm
the judge
hearing
isn't
somebody
done.
talk.
Tracy, you're unmuted.
She's not muted.
Okay. Mr. Garcia, I don't want you to think I'm picking on you, because I'm not. And in fact, I think being truthful with an 11-year-old, if the 11-year-old approached me, and if I was having a private conversation with your son,
Yes, ma'am.
and he asked me straight up, is my mom using drugs? I would not lie to the child either. He's 11.
Yes,
My
ma'am.
gosh, we're teaching him about drugs in school by that
Yes,
age.
ma'am.
I mean, we start talking to our children about drugs and how bad they are and what they are and why they're bad for you and how it destroys lives.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
it can ruin people. I mean, we start indoctrinating them with that at a far younger age than 11. So I do not find fault. This court does not find fault with Mr. Garcia for being honest with the child about the fact that mother may be using drugs.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, that doesn't mean you have free license to speculate about what mom may or may not be doing.
No, ma'am. That's not at all what I was doing.
Hang on.
Yes, ma'am.
It's hard for the court reporter to take us down when when you're talking over me.
I'm sorry.
So I just want to be clear. I'm not picking on you for doing that. I would have given him the same answer. Maybe I would have phrased it differently. I don't know. But, you know, I've still got to know in this case whether or not these dads are going to work services, although they may be very limited. But I've got to know, are they going to be, are they agreeing to the TMC and agreeing to work services? If not, we got a whole other issue. And maybe what I need to do is just have a bench conference with attorneys.
And Your Honor, let me be clear. I don't have a problem with Mr. Garcia answering an honest question. Is mom on drugs? Yes, your mother's on drugs. I don't have a problem with that. That's not the question I was asked. I absolutely would have answered that honestly. I would expect any of these dads to answer it honestly. That was not the issue. So I just want to make sure you understand. I'm not picking on him for answering it. If that question was asked and he answered it honestly, I do not have any problem with that.
No, I understand that. And I'm not picking on what you've said. And I just want to make it clear to Mr. Garcia that I've admonished him about no disparaging remarks. Yes, but I also want him to understand I do not find fault with him being truthful with the child. So that being said, is this easier if we just have a bench conference? Because we're gonna chase our tail here till I know whether or not dads are going to be participants here.
Judge, could I suggest that it sounds like maybe each dad needs an explanation from their respective attorney as to what TMC and possessory means and placement with them, and then a bench conference so that they really understand what they're agreeing to?
Yeah, let me have a bench conference with you all first. So let's just, most of you are already in room 4. Let me make sure, but I think you are. Miss Stevens, I'm going to put you back in there. And I will join you all in 4. The attorneys are going to visit among themselves just real briefly, and then I think they're going to want to talk to each of their clients. So as soon as I get word from them, I'll reassign you all to breakout rooms.
Hey, Mr. Graff, can you throw me your number so I can call you so that we don't have to go to a breakout room while we're waiting?
Yeah, let me text that over to you real quick on the chat.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
No problem.
So how would...
Let me just, so everybody
Yes, ma'am.
knows, we've lost our court reporter. She had to be somewhere, so I'm recording to the Zoom cloud at this point. So just wanted everybody to know. Okay.
So, Your Honor, after marathon discussions, I can report that all 3 dads are in agreement, as is the mom, to TMC. The expectation is with the dads, it will be a minimal service plan, but they are agreeing to at least initial substance abuse tests. And I think that's everything. Unless I'm missing something, counsel, feel free to jump in.
Okay, we also obviously have child support issues, and since the children are going to be placed with fathers, I would want to do a termination order of their support. But I understand they've agreed to do some drug testing. So,
And Your Honor, one of the child supports has abundant arrearages, and so
wouldn't affect that at all.
Yeah, I just wanted to call that to the court's attention.
Yeah,
And if anything is paid while the drug tests are pending, I will have my client execute a credit for each client.
It wouldn't stop any arrearage payment, but just current support. But I think if it's agreeable, our status hearing is set for July 10th. So I guess what I could do, what I would say is as each of those drug tests comes in, and if we find there's no issues and the child's going to remain with each respective father, then we could at that point submit an order stopping those withholdings, you know, in connection with the agreement today.
We agreed to that, Judge.
So my ruling really would be that all current child support payments will terminate as soon as negative drug screens are received on each father. I'll make a part of my ruling that just to be clear that no arrearage payments will be affected. Because if you do a termination, on the withholding, it's got to be clear all that what you're terminating and that that's not terminating that arrearage payment too. Okay, and so obviously then we're not asking parents or mom in particular, we're not asking her to pay any kind of child support to the department or medical support at this time. I really want parents to be able to use their resources to work their services, take care of the kids, do what we need to do. So we are agreeing that placement of the children will be with their respective fathers.
Judge, may I?
Support. Our dad's under an order to pay medical support in those AG orders. They probably are.
Yes, they are.
Okay, that would also need to terminate.
And Judge, she has a current visitation plan, obviously due to the distance between everybody. She's visiting by FaceTime with everybody. So I would just ask if any parents are monitoring visitation that they just kind of let the children visit and not, interfere with that. Not that anyone has, Your Honor. It's just something I always ask. That's certainly not relative to any of the dads necessarily in this case. I just always ask.
Well, our mom's visit's not going to be supervised.
I believe that the agreement is that the dads, Judge, are getting the kids on FaceTime visits and that the dads have been appropriate to supervise. But Mr. Groff may correct me if that's wrong.
That's my understanding. If I have that wrong, if Brian or Lori can please just weigh in on that.
Gene, I think Tucker would probably be the best since he's with St. Francis.
It's already, okay, yeah. Tucker, do you have any objection to the dad supervising mom's visits?
No, I just know mom stated that she wouldn't want Marcus and Abigail supervising the visit. I don't know if mom's still of that opinion, but if I know that she lives in Childress, so if they could take the kids to they live in Clarendon. If they could take the kids to Childress, then Dylan or Tiffany Trinity could monitor the visit of Marcus Jr. If that's
So then, Jean, it sounds like we need to hash out the visitation offline and just say that mother will get visitation as agreed. Would that be appropriate, Judge?
Yeah, I mean, I guess my feeling is that, part of mom's service plan is that she would make regular visitation with the children and that be appropriate and all of that. And I guess I'm a little concerned that if we're kicking all that to someone other than St. Francis. I mean, I understand the ease of having dads sort of oversee that, but
And she's telling me, Your Honor, that she can drive to do visits. And so probably we can get courtesy workers and I can work a plan out and circulate it through the attorneys offline through Mr. Graff, if that's okay.
I'm fine with that if the judge is.
I'm okay. I mean, if we still have a problem at the status hearing, we can take it up then.
Yeah.
That'll work.
I'm just gonna put that her visits are gonna be supervised and that we'll just leave it at that for right now. Okay. All right, and I'm circling around to this because I do want it contained in the order that no parent will make disparaging remarks about the other parent, you know, to the child or in their presence. Okay. Anybody think of anything else that we haven't covered? All right, then I do, I will follow the agreement, find that it is in the best interest of all of the children, and find that the evidence is sufficient to name the Department of Family and Protective Services as the temporary managing conservator of the children. Mother and all three fathers will work services tailored to the needs in this case. I would terminate all current child support payments and medical support payments as soon as we get negative drug screens on each father. No arrearage payments would be terminated, and there won't be any child support or medical support ordered for mother to pay to the department. The children will be placed with their respective father. Mom's visits will be supervised, and no parent will make any disparaging remarks about the other parent to the child or within their presence. All right, I'll see everybody. Well, I need to make a couple findings. I would find that there would be a continuing danger to return the child home to the mother at this time. And I will expect the department to use reasonable efforts to reunify the family. And that not only means mother, but the whole family. And I will see everybody back for the status hearing on July 10th. That will be on a 9 o'clock docket.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, I really, really appreciate everybody's effort. And I'm going to also at this time dismiss the two unknown fathers that were pled into the case, since we now know we've got adjudicated dads all the way around. So that will no longer be necessary to have them pled in. So we'll dismiss them out and see you all back in July.
Great.
Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you all so much. I appreciate
Honor.
your time.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thanks, y'all.
Judge, you'll need to record.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Yep, I was just looking at that. Okay. All right. We're here today for a status hearing, and we are conducting this through Zoom under a finding of good cause and agreement of the parties. We're live streaming, and I am recording to the Zoom cloud. So if you need a copy, let us know. All right, then. We got so many people involved. I'm going to just announce, looks like Kayla Martinez is present with her attorney, Stacy Grant. Dylan Casey is present with his attorney, Brooks Barfield. Marcus Garcia Sr. is present, and I'm looking for Ms. Riley. Do I have Ms. Riley? I don't think I've seen her. I've not. I'll watch for her in the waiting room. Mr. Leos, Albert Leos, I do not see him present. And
I'm here, Your Honor.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Did I miss you?
Yes, ma'am. I'm right here.
Oh,
He's under my name, Judge. I'm sorry. I was confused as well.
Okay. I'm going to change the name real quick so that we.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. All right, so Mr. Leos is present. My apologies. All right, and he is present with his attorney, Ms. Seal. And I believe that Ms. Sapien is stepping in today for Ms. Stevens, who is the attorney ad litem for the children. Casa is present with us, Connie Monzingo and Jamie Hall. Mr. Groff is present for the department. Looks like Ms. Collins is present with him and Mr. Ivy. All right, did I miss anybody?
I think that's everybody.
Okay, that's enough. All right, I'll continue to watch for Ms. Riley. All right then, Mr. Ivy, if you would like to give us the update since you filed your court report, that'd be great.
Yes, ma'am. For the update, for the drug tests that were ordered for the parents, Kayla tested positive on her hair follicle on June 25th, but then tested negative for her UA on July 2nd. Dylan tested positive for marijuana on June 23rd. Then Marcus tested negative on June 17th, and Albert tested negative on June 16th.
Okay, Mr. Casey tested negative, did you say?
Dylan Casey tested positive for marijuana. The levels were very low, but it was a positive marijuana test on June 23rd.
Okay.
And Your Honor, just to make a record, I would object to the entrance of the results of the drug tests as to the truth of the matter, but not for use by the court today in making any orders or decisions on a status hearing.
All right, I'll sustain that.
And I concur with that.
Okay, Mr. Ivy, go ahead.
And then for updates on the status or on the court report, Aubrey has completed her cans on June 20th and completed her dental on June 26th. Alexis completed her cans assessment on July 7th, but her dental is still pending. And MJ has started therapy. And so with the kids, Aubrey and Alexis are doing very well in their homes. Aubrey has her little brother that she plays with. She has a good relationship with dad's girlfriend and a really good relationship with her dad. Alexis is in the same situation. She has a good relationship with her dad, and she has a little sister that's in the home with them. And they're around like the same age, so they just play together all the time. Whenever I went and visited them, they were running around the house and playing how you think little 5-year-old girls would be playing. And the LPS worker reported that she saw the same thing, that Alexis is happy in her home. MJ has struggled with the transition with going from living with mom to dad. And so we're hoping the therapy helps with that. He's told me multiple times that he's not happy and he's angry with where he's at, and he wants to go back and live with his mom, and he's just really struggling. And so I know it's put a strain on Marcus and Abigail, and I'm hoping that situation gets better just over time. But I think just because it's new and everything going on with the case, I think it's had definitely a strong effect on MJ. Visits are going good so far. There was, in the beginning, the dads were supervising the visits, but St. Francis is supervising the visits for Aubrey and MJ now. And Alexis her dad's still supervising their visits since he's out of region. I don't know if we have a way to supervise their visits unless we do them completely virtual. as far as I know, I've told the Kayla that she could go. Her and Albert could schedule visits in person anytime they wanted to, like once a week. And if they did do them in person, they could extend them for a 2 hour period since they live so far apart. And so I think this Saturday they're having, I believe, their first in-person visit since the removal. I have got with the dads and I texted them that I'd like the kids to meet up at least once a month so they could all see each other in person. I don't know if that's happened yet or not, but I do know that the kids do call each other via FaceTime and talk to each other, especially Aubrey and Alexis. I know they talk a lot. And there was since the last court hearing, there was an investigation opened on Marcus. And during that time, the investigation, nothing came out from Marcus and nothing negative pointed in his way, but Abigail did test positive for marijuana. So we had to put a safety plan in place to where she couldn't watch Marcus Jr. unsupervised. And I think that's all I have that I can think of off the top of my head and I got written down in my notes.
Okay. So, can anybody answer the question if the kids have gotten to have an in-person visit?
I do know
Marcus,
that Aubrey and MJ have got to see each other because when I take them to visits with their mom, I take them together. But I don't know if Alexis has gotten to see Aubrey or MJ in person.
No, Your Honor, they haven't. The kids haven't seen each other as far as Alexis and Aubrey and MJ, just via FaceTime and stuff like that.
Okay. Any possibility we can make that happen sometime in the next few weeks?
Yes, Your Honor. I have the contact information for the fathers, and we'll try to figure out a good plan as far as at least before school starts.
Okay. And maybe it can be in conjunction, after mom's visit or before or something. I mean, I understand we got some travel involved and all of that. So, okay.
and as far as Marcus Jr., me and Mr. Casey, we've talked about taking them to the water park and stuff like that, so they can go ahead and do a visit or stuff like that.
Okay. That's great. Okay. All right. Okay, let me just ask generally, parents, are you guys, it sounds like to some extent, everybody's working together. So, I mean, I'm kind of wanting to find out because, we kind of talked about this at our last hearing, but, is everybody working together pretty well at this point?
Yes, Your Honor. As far as the fathers, they've contacted me wanting seeing when the kids can visit and stuff like that, and I haven't had no issues.
Okay.
Let's say the father's been all pretty good in conjunction, working together.
All right. So, Ms. Martinez, how's that going between you and the dads?
It's a work in progress, I guess you could say. I mean, we have our good days, we have our bad days.
Okay. I'm just asking all of you to just please keep your eye on that ball because it's just going to make it so much easier for everybody. I know it's hard, but you just got to keep in mind the kids come first. All right, Miss Grant, anything today?
Your Honor, the only thing I can think of is to ask the caseworker if those drug screens have been filed. I don't show them in my file, and I'm not finding that I was e-served, and so I'm just wondering if I missed them.
No, I haven't. Do I need to submit them to the court? Sorry, I just emailed the attorneys or all the attorneys the results.
Okay, so I would be looking then for an email from you, not an e-service, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Let me.
Okay, no, I can get it from email. That's not a problem. I just had missed it in my folder. Thank you, and that's all I had, Judge.
And we'll make sure they get e-filed as well.
Okay, and before I start going around the room, real quickly then, Mr. Ivy, have service plans been prepared and filed for all parents?
Yes, Judge.
Have they signed them?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, great. Okay, Mr. Barfield.
Your Honor, I did receive an email. I've spoken with Mr. Casey about the low-level test, and he assured me that's not going to be an issue in the future.
Well, I would actually like to talk to Mr. Barfield in a breakout if I'd get a chance, please.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on a pretty tight schedule this morning. I will let you all visit for just a second.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, let me just do this since you're on a tight schedule, Judge. If that's not going to affect your decision right now, I can meet in a breakout room with my client after the hearing, and we can leave the meeting from there unless it's going to have an adverse effect on the court's ruling at this point. I think you see where I'm going, Judge.
Yeah, no, I don't see that what I've heard is going to change anything.
Okay.
And Your Honor, I'll just note for the record that Mr. Casey was forthcoming about cannabis use prior to the case being filed, and I know that my client is not unduly concerned based on the hair test at this point.
Okay. So, Mr. Casey, are you okay to wait and talk with Mr. Barfield when we get done?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Y'all don't let me forget to do that, to put you in there when we get done.
I won't, Judge.
All right. Okay, Mr. Garcia, Ms. Riley hadn't logged in. She may be stuck somewhere else, but any concerns you have or anything you want to ask today?
As far as myself, well, I know Abigail has a retest today, so we're gonna do that after the court, Your Honor. But as far as like my son, just concerns, like I know it seems to get hard or harder whenever he does see mom or he talks to mom, because then he goes back to that mindset to where he's like, well, I don't have to listen to y'all and stuff like that. So, I mean, I know it's a work in progress, and I just, and I mean, like Tucker said, I just hope, I hope the therapy with Aaron helps. It's just, I mean, that's the only concern or anything that I have, with my son. But other than that, I mean, he's been good, and everything's been good here as far as what he tells me and what we think. I mean, as far as that, Your Honor.
Okay. Sadly, Mr. Garcia, you are experiencing, I think, what everybody with an 11-year-old and above in age experiences when you've got parents in different homes.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think the therapy will help. Is co-parenting a portion of their service plans, Mr. Ivy? If that's recommended by their counselors?
It's not in the co-parenting's not in the service plan. Is that something you'd like me to include?
Let's just see how it evolves with their individual counseling, and that it may come around to that where there's some recommendation for that later in the case. But there's other things we need to focus on first. So
Well, I was told to make the plan for the dads as minimal as possible. So the only things I put on there was to stay in contact with me and for their drug testing.
I understand. It may be that with more because of Marcus Jr.'s age, it may be that Mr. Garcia and Ms. Martinez really might benefit down the road in this case from some co-parenting. And it's, because it addresses how do we maintain the same rules in different households, and how do we have kids have the same expectations, in both places, and how difficult it is when they have very different expectations and very, different rules in each household. So I'm not saying we have to do it at this moment, but Mr. Garcia and Ms. Martinez, just understand that may be something that I ask you all to do at some point in time. We'll see how this rocks along and how this evolves.
Your Honor, may I ask if the service plans have been e-filed? I don't seem to have those either.
He indicated they had been filed.
Okay.
Do believe I filed them.
Okay, thank you.
You may just need to make sure, Mr. Ivy, you got everybody on a service contacts, because there's so many people involved in this. I could see how you could miss somebody.
Yes, Judge.
But we'll make sure that, Ms. Grant, that you all see those.
No problem. I just wanted to see if they were email or e-filed. I will locate them, Judge. Thank you.
All right. Ms. Seal.
Your Honor, I think the only other thing we had talked about at the adversary was possibly filing or consolidating and transferring all of the AG orders for child support into this case. And I know Mr. Leos was asking about that when we visited yesterday. So that would be the only other thing I would like to have some insight on.
I don't know.
Stole my thunder, Your Honor. We were going to make the same motion. We filed the paperwork, I believe, so we would join in that motion.
Okay, so those motions have been filed.
That's my understanding. I confirmed that with my legal assistant this morning. I think we did that yesterday. So with that, we would ask to transfer and consolidate.
Okay, I just need the orders and that'll be done.
Thank you.
Now, once we get that done, do we need to suspend some child support obligations?
Yes, Judge, that would be my request on behalf of my client.
As any child support obligation owed by my client as well, we would request would be suspended if there is any.
So once we get those consolidated, counsel, I mean, I think I indicated to you, if any of the fathers are paying child support to mom, if you all will want to do withholding order, terminating, and or if Mr. Graff wants to present those, but you know, it's this court's intent to suspend those support obligations, not redirect them to the department, but to suspend those, you know, till we see the outcome of all this.
And Your Honor, this was a case that one or more of the fathers actually have arrearages they need to continue paying on. So I wanted to make sure that the fathers understand that they still have to pay the arrearages they're already due.
Yeah, I mean, I will, you know, that will never be part of my order to affect anything having to do with the arrears, only current ongoing child support or medical support.
Thank you, Judge.
And Your Honor, I misspoke. They haven't been filed, but my assistant informs me we will be filing those today.
Okay. So it is my intent to suspend those. So once we get them consolidated, if we will follow up then with orders, the appropriate orders to suspend any current and or current child support or medical support.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Ms. Seal, anything else?
No, Your Honor, that would be all.
Okay, and so Ms. Sapien.
Thank you, Judge. And Your Honor, Ms. Stevens has provided to me her report, which I will give to all of you. I think some of it has already been covered, and so if it has, I'll try to note that as I'm talking.
Sure.
In regards to the girls, she reports that they do miss their mom, but that they are happy and thriving in their current home. Dads are doing a great job of supporting their emotions and being kind about mom. Her only recommendation, which I think I heard some talk about this earlier, is to have in-person visitation time with mom as soon as possible for the girls. And then she moves on to Marcus, which I'm gathering we call MJ. So in regards to MJ, she says she does have some serious concerns about what's going on. And I have heard, obviously, that commentary today. Marcus reported to Bethany that he has been grounded since the investigation opened regarding stepmom. That he reported to CPS that he heard his dad say that stepmom uses marijuana. So Bethany is concerned that he is still grounded for being honest. Of course, that report is coming from MJ. He acknowledges that he has trouble listening, but that he is trying really hard to start listening better. And it sounds like counseling is going to get started, so hopefully that will help. Bethany is recommending more than 1 hour of visitation with mom, since he is missing her so much. She's renewing her recommendation that dad and stepmom take parenting classes, anger management, and she requested drug testing, but it sounds like that's already been done with stepmom. And she is asking the court to consider exploring other possible kinship placements for Marcus because things are not getting better with him. She's also recommending counseling, which it sounds like that's being started. I believe you said with Aaron. She's asking that the court admonish Mr. Garcia that there not be any retaliation against Marcus today for his reporting to Bethany regarding the grounding. And additionally, she is planning on giving MJ a notebook so that he can make notes about anything he wants to talk to her or Casa about. And she is requesting that the court make it clear to Mr. Garcia that that notebook is MJ's property and he should not confiscate that notebook or read it.
Okay, I'm gonna hold off on some of the things of the anger management, the parenting. I think it's really more of an issue of co-parenting, but which we've already talked about. I am going to permit her to provide the child with a notebook in which to document or make notes of things he wishes to talk to his attorney and or to CASA about. Mr. Garcia, I will tell you that that is a private book and no one else in the household should have access to that, should look at it. That is the child's personal book, and to some extent it would be attorney-client privilege.
Yes, ma'am, I understand, Your Honor.
So that's to be his and his only, and no one else is to look at that.
Yes, ma'am, I understand. And as just based on hearing that, he wasn't grounded for that. He was grounded because he wasn't following the rules, as such as like eating in his room and like hiding food under his bed. That's why he was grounded.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. There are some things what you just said to me there that I think need to be addressed in counseling. You know, why is he hiding food? Why is he, you know, there are some things.
Yes,
Well,
ma'am.
there's some red flags to me when children do those things, but you know, we'll let the counselor handle that.
Yes, ma'am. We've relayed that to Miss Souter as well from Wellington. She's the one that runs the counseling.
Okay. All right. Okay, yeah, it's, you know, we are in a situation where we need children to be honest with us and to, you know, to feel like they can honestly tell, you know, professionals what's on their mind or what they're feeling and what concerns they have or fears or, you know, what they're happy about. I mean, it's not all just the negative stuff, it's the good stuff too. And so, you know, obviously there should be no repercussion or punishment for a child for being honest about something that's going on in the household. So I have no problem with disciplining kids for other issues. You know, I think that's appropriate, but when it comes to this case and their ability to talk with the people they need to talk to, you know, I don't want anything that would would impinge on their ability to do that.
Your Honor, my client is very interested in going ahead and starting co-parenting, specifically with for her and Mr. Garcia separately, and then possibly some classes together down the road. They have had a particularly difficult time co-parenting, and it's our concern that perhaps MJ is struggling with just the different parenting styles that he's experiencing versus anybody doing anything wrong, and that perhaps co-parenting could get them in a more common style of parenting, which would be beneficial to the child.
I think that, I mean, and we've talked about this already, but I think that it's appropriate for them to start addressing that in their individual therapy and then move into true co-parenting. And I very much see that on the horizon. But I think we need to start, let's start with their individual therapists and you know, that's kind
And
of
she also,
course.
and I didn't mean to interrupt you, Judge.
No, that's right.
She also is very interested in an increase in visitation with MJ, supervised, of course, the same as it has been, in order to give him a little bit more contact with her and maybe ease his mind a little bit that things are fine and everybody's working their services, and give him a more positive feedback from each side.
All right, Mr. Ivy, do you see any problem with trying to maybe increase the time with MJ?
No, I do know that Kayla is about to start a job that's out of state, I believe on the 28th. And so if she's fine with increasing it virtually or for virtual visits, then I'm fine with that.
Okay, let's just see what we can figure out, you know, as long as it's positive. And Ms. Martinez, I mean, I will just tell you that you and Mr. Garcia both, you know, it may be painful, but you need to prop each other up right now. You know, that will help Marcus more than anything if he hears positive things from each of you about the other parent. You know, and not just refraining from the negative, but, you know, positive remarks. You know, mom's working hard mom's working real hard on her issues, and you know, dad's doing a good job and you are fine there, you're safe, you know, you just got to let it give a little time and adjust, and you're going to be okay. I mean, that's the kind of stuff he needs to hear. So it's not just refraining from being negative, but it's also propping each other up.
Your Honor, I do my very best on doing that after every visit, because he does get a little hesitant to want to go back, and I say nothing but good things about his dad. I haven't said bad things about any of their fathers, because they are a part of them, and I don't want my children to think that I look at them any type of way, because I want my kids to have their dads in their life. It means that that's more valuable to me than anything. And so I do my best when it comes to MJ. It's just my kids have known me, like, I've been the only parent there for all of their life, you know? So it is just an adjustment issue, I believe.
Yeah, and I think he will, as long as he's given positive reinforcement. Okay, Casa, need to hear from y'all. I'm sorry, I'm running behind already, but I want to hear from Casa.
You're good. We have visited with all three kids in their homes. We do not have any concerns there. MJ did not express those concerns to me, but we will be going back out here in the next 2 weeks probably to visit all of them. And so I will try to get with him and talk and kind of see what he's got going on. I do agree with Miss Grant. I think that co-parenting could really benefit, and it'd really help the kids. I agree with therapy for MJ too. If he is struggling, that would be the best thing for him, I think. But as of right now, no concerns, and we will continue visiting.
Okay, appreciate you.
And Your Honor, I'm sorry, one more request. We would ask again that Mr. Garcia be admonished that Miss Martinez must ask him for things in order to co-parent, and so far the response she's been getting is that she has no right to, and she's in no position to ask him for anything, but she must approach him, and we must be able to ask for things. And so we would just request a more open mind when we ask for things, even if the answer is no. I need her to feel comfortable in approaching him and asking for things that are needed where the children are concerned, or if she needs to call or anything like that. But right now we're not progressing where we need to be in reactions to one another.
Asking for what kind of things? I guess I'm not.
Your Honor,
Well,
sorry, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Go
That's
ahead, Ms.
okay.
Grant.
I'm sorry, Mr. Garcia. I didn't mean to talk over
No,
you.
Ms. Grant, go ahead.
Just if there could be, if there could be a FaceTime call or anything that's asked for, communication, is just not good right now. And it's just a statement that was reported to me and the context wasn't given. So I'm just asking these parents to understand they have to be able to speak to one another and do it amicably.
Okay, I assume you mean a FaceTime call between mother and father, because the visitation calls would be monitored.
Those are with the child, correct, Judge. It's just the parent, the feedback that Miss Martinez is getting from Mr. Garcia is still very judgmental and still very accusatory in tone, perhaps. I'm not sure. I'm not trying to throw Mr. Garcia under the bus. I'm just saying that we're not progressing, and I'm just asking that everybody try to speak kind to one another and approach each other with open minds.
And just my input on that, Your Honor. Me and Miss Martinez, we really don't communicate. I communicate through Tucker if I have anything or if she has anything, but she's never really asked me anything about, anything, honestly. I don't remember the last time I've spoken to Miss Martinez.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Garcia.
Okay, well, I don't think I could make it any more clear what the court expects of parents, to be supportive of each other, to be respectful, to be civil, because it's anything but that just doesn't do any good. Period. Paragraph. Okay, I need to talk to parents real quickly about service plans. I'm going to order your service plans as an order of the court today. What that means is that obviously I expect you to work those services, and failure to work those services can result in, kids not coming home or kids being removed from a home. So it's very important that y'all, do what is in those plans, work your way through them. And, I very much see the co-parenting on the horizon with respect to Mr. Garcia and Ms. Martinez, but that needs to start, like I said, with individual therapy. So we'll start there, and then we'll just work our way through it. All right, then, for today, I will find that we will continue the department as temporary managing conservator and continue the children's placements. I find a continuing danger to return the children home to the mother today. We will order the service plans as an order of the court. I will suspend any current and ongoing child support and medical support once these cases are consolidated. And I will see you all back for the initial permanency hearing on November 4th of 2025. That'll be on a 9 o'clock docket. Obviously, the department will continue to use reasonable efforts to reunify the families. All right, I appreciate each of you. Good luck with your services, and please, like I said, keep your eye on the ball, and that means the children.
Judge, breakout room.
And I'll set you guys up in your breakout room.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, Judge.
And everybody else is free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, Mr.
Thank you, Judge.
Garfield, let me get you Mr. Casey. All right, room 1 for you gentlemen, and then you can just exit from there.
Thank you, Your Honor.